Gemini 3.0 deepthink mode is insane. Google just dropped something that's making every AI lose their mind. We're talking about AI that actually stops and thinks like you and me. No more instant wrong answers. This thing pauses, tests ideas, and solves problems that used to be impossible. And wait until you see what it can build from a single sentence. So here's what just happened. Google released Gemini 3.0, and buried inside it is this mode called Deep Think. And it's not like the other AI updates where they just make things a little faster or a little smarter. This is different. This is scary different. Most AI tools you use right now, they answer fast. You ask a question, boom, instant answer. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's garbage, but it's always fast. DeepThink doesn't do that. When you turn on DeepThink mode, the AI actually stops. It thinks, it tests different ideas in its head before it answers you, just like how you'd solve a hard problem. Hey, if we haven't met already, I'm the digital avatar of Julian Goldie, CEO of SEO agency Goldie Agency. Whilst he's helping clients get more leads and customers, I'm here to help you get the latest AI updates. So what does all this mean for you? What can you actually do with this thing? Well, buckle up because this is where it gets wild. First, DeepThink can code like a senior developer on steroids. I'm not talking about it writing a few lines of Python and calling it a day. This thing builds entire apps. You give it a rough idea, maybe even just a sketch on a napkin, and it writes the code, runs it in a terminal, checks if it works in a browser, finds the bugs, fixes them, and keeps going until it's done, all by itself, no hand-holding. I've been in the software game long enough to know that most developers spend half their time debugging and fixing stupid errors. DeepThink does all of that automatically. It's like having a coding team that never sleeps, never complains, and never asks for raises. Second, it can turn rough ideas into actual working products. You know how you have those shower thoughts where you're like, man, wouldn't it be cool if there was an app that did this thing? Most people forget about it 5 minutes later. But with DeepThink, you just describe it. That's it. The AI builds the whole thing. Front end, back end, even generates images and graphics if you need them. It's pulling from Google's image models to create assets on the fly. Third, and this is huge for anyone doing research or trying to stay ahead in their industry, DeepThink can read hundreds of research papers, pull out the important stuff, connect ideas across different papers, and even come up with new theories based on what it learned, and it cites everything properly. It's not just making stuff up, it's doing real academic level research work. Before we go further, if you want to actually use AI to scale your business and not just play around with it, you need to check out my AI Profit Boardroom. This is where I share exactly how I'm using AI to run my 7-figure agency with 50 people. You'll learn automation that saves you hundreds of hours. The link is in the description. Okay, so let's talk about actually getting your hands on DeepThink, because I know what you're thinking. This sounds amazing. When can I use it? DeepThink is still a black box, but we know more about how it thinks. When you activate DeepThink mode, the AI doesn't just process your question once and spit out an answer. It breaks your question into smaller pieces. Then it runs multiple experiments in its head at the same time. It's testing different ways to solve the problem. It's playing out scenarios. It's basically doing what you do when you're trying to figure out something complicated. You know, when you're trying to fix something broken in your house and you're like, okay, maybe it's this or maybe it's that. Let me try this first and see what happens. That's what DeepThink is doing, except it's doing it in milliseconds with way more options than your brain can handle. Google added something called a thinking level parameter to their API. Developers can set it to high, and boom, that triggers DeepThink. The AI goes into this extended reasoning mode where it's genuinely working through the problem instead of just pattern matching from its training data. All right, so how does DeepThink stack up against the competition? Because OpenAI has their O1 model that's supposed to be all about reasoning too, right? Google specifically trained DeepThink to cut that crap out. It gives you straight answers. It's concise. It doesn't waste your time with 3 paragraphs of fluff before getting to the point. If you ask it something and you're wrong, it'll tell you you're wrong and explain why. That's refreshing. Plus, DeepThink has something most competitors don't. It's built into Google's entire ecosystem. It can understand text, images, video, audio, and code all at once. And it has a 1 million token context window. That means you can feed it basically an entire library of information and it will remember all of it while working on your problem. Right now, it's limited. Google is rolling it out to safety testers and select partners first. But soon, it's coming to Google AI Ultra subscribers. That's their premium tier that costs about $250 a month. Yeah, it's expensive, but if you're running a business or doing serious work, that's nothing compared to what you'd pay a developer or researcher to do what this AI can do. But here's what's interesting. Google is taking their time because they know this is powerful. They don't want someone using deepthink to design something harmful and then claiming Google gave them the tools to do it. They're covering their bases. Let's talk about the downsides because nothing's perfect. Deepthink is slow compared to regular AI. If you ask it what's 2 plus 2, you don't need deepthink, that's overkill. Deepthink is for complex problems where accuracy matters way more than speed. If you need a quick answer to something simple, use regular Gemini. Also, if you're asking deepthink to solve something, you better be ready to wait. It's not giving you instant answers, it's taking time to think through the problem properly. For some people, that's annoying. For others, that's exactly what they need. Another thing, it's not magic, it's still AI. It can still make mistakes. The difference is it makes way fewer mistakes than other models because it's actually reasoning through problems instead of just guessing based on patterns. Now, here's where things get really sci fi. Google's using deepthink to power something they're calling vibe coding. And yeah, that's actually what they named it, vibe coding. Here's what that means. You know how coding normally works? You write code, you test it, it breaks, you fix it, you test it again, it breaks somewhere else, you fix that. And eventually, after hours or days, you have something that works. Vibe coding throws that whole process out the window. With vibe coding, you just describe what you want in plain English. I want an app that does this. I want a website that looks like that. I want a tool that solves this problem. And deepthink builds it. All of it. The architecture, the code, the debugging, everything. Google's been showing demos where someone describes an app idea in a single sentence, and deepthink builds the entire thing in minutes. Back-end code, front-end design, interactive features, even the visual assets. It's generating images, writing JavaScript, setting up databases, all from that one sentence. They've got this Canvas workspace where you can watch the AI work in real time. You can make changes as it's building. You can give it feedback. It's like pair programming with a developer who never gets tired and knows every programming language ever invented. This isn't theoretical. This is happening right now. People with access are already building real products with this, but it gets even weirder. Deepthink doesn't just respond with text anymore. It can create what Google calls generative UI. That means instead of giving you a wall of text as an answer, it builds interactive visual responses. Let's say you ask Deepthink to help you plan a trip. Old AI would give you a text list, go here, then here, stay at this hotel, eat at this restaurant. Boring. Generative UI gives you a clickable interactive itinerary with maps, times, links, all laid out like a professional travel magazine that you can click on things, see more details, rearrange your schedule, all inside the AI's response. Or let's say you ask it to analyze data. Instead of dumping numbers on you, it creates interactive charts and graphs that you can filter and manipulate. It's building custom interfaces on the fly based on what you need. This is a fundamental shift. AI isn't just a chatbot anymore. It's becoming a dynamic tool that adapts how it communicates based on the situation. That's way more useful than just getting text answers. So why does all of this matter? Why should you care about deepthink beyond just cool text stuff? Because we're watching AI evolve from a tool that reacts to what you tell it into a tool that actually understands what you're trying to accomplish and helps you get there. That's agency. That's the difference between a calculator and a partner. Deepthink can plan, execute, and validate complex workflows without you holding its hand the whole time. You give it a goal, and it figures out the steps, does the work, checks if it worked, and fixes anything that broke. That's not just automation, that's actual intelligent assistance. That's the kind of capability that changes industries. That's the kind of capability that makes old ways of working obsolete. There's also this thing Google calls reading the room. Deepthink is better at understanding context and human intent than any AI I've used. You don't have to spell everything out. You don't have to write perfect prompts. It gets what you're trying to do and helps you do it. That's a huge leap from AI that needs you to babysit it with detailed instructions for every little thing. Look, I've been in the AI space long enough to know when something's actually revolutionary versus when it's just hype. Most AI updates are incremental, a little better at this, a little faster at that. Cool, but not life changing. Deepthink is different. This is the kind of update that makes you rethink how you work. It's the kind of capability that opens up possibilities that didn't exist before. If you're running a business, if you're building products, if you're doing any kind of knowledge work, this matters because your competitors are going to figure this out. And if you're still doing things the old manual way, while they're using AI that can think through complex problems and build solutions autonomously, you're going to get left behind. That's not fear mongering, that's just reality. If you're serious about using AI to scale your business, you need to join the AI Profit Boardroom. This is where I'm teaching everything I'm using to run my 7-figure agency, save hundreds of hours with automation, not just play around with shiny new tools. The link is in the description.